Okay, folks, we're here to do a little bit of kitchen science today. We're basically here to answer two questions. Is dielectric grease a conductor or an insulator? And is it okay to use it on electrical contacts, meaning between the wires, particularly in the automotive motorcycle context? Okay, so here we go. Using a fairly accurate multimeter here, so I'm just going to show you the relative accuracy of this. This is just the resistance of the leads themselves, 0.2 ohms. Okay, so essentially this is a complete circuit, and the leads are part of that circuit, and the resistance of that circuit is 0.2 ohms. That's what my Fluke 110 multimeter is showing me. Okay, now let's gob on some dielectric grease. Alright, let's get a good blob. Okay, so here we go. So if I just stick my probes into the blob of the grease itself without touching, I still get an open circuit. So yeah, obviously dielectric grease is not a conductor. Okay, but as I press through it and make contact, which is what you would normally do in your, in any circuit when you're touching your wires together or your pins or whatever, here you go. Look at the multimeter. It's back to 0.2 ohms, right? So let's try a couple of different places. So again, just sort of gently pressing through the grease. Here you go. Somewhere 0.3, 0.2, anyway, to essentially within the accuracy of this fairly accurate measurement device, the resistance introduced by putting dielectric grease in the circuit is negligible. Let's try this again. See, 0 to negligible. Okay, so yes, it is a insulator, but in my opinion, backed up by what this experiment is showing us, it's perfectly okay to use it between the contacts of conductive surfaces, such as inside your connectors, between connector pads, between two wires twisted together, and on and on and on. Okay, where should you not use it? Well, okay, assuming that there is a tiny bit of resistance that could be due to this dielectric grease being there, if you were totally conservative, you would not use it someplace where that might make a difference, such as the throttle position sensor. I know, for example, on the KTM 690, there are two throttle position sensors, and they have to agree to within 1/10 of 1 volt with one another. So just to be on the safe side, keep the dielectric grease out of that circuit. Likewise, connector that plugs directly into your ECU, since some of the circuits that go into it are indeed, measurement style circuits for TPS, as mentioned before, maybe the oxygen sensor or whatever. Again, to be on the safe side, keep the grease out of that connector as well, which normally you don't need to worry about it because that's connector that has gold-plated contacts and pretty well sealed, and by and large, not a contamination problem. So if you were conservative, don't put it there. But all other circuits, your switches, your starter switch, your ignition, on and on and on, feel free to put dielectric grease in there. The moment you squeeze those wires together, the juice flows just fine. All right, hopefully that was enough to convince the non-believers. All right, now, there we go. Okay, thanks.